Here are a few things you should consider before designing and then building a home with decorative shelves like these. Of course, they are built into the home. They are drywalled most of the time, and of course will need to be maintained. I like to refer to them as dust collectors, and again, this would be our first tip before building something like this. They do collect dust, and every once in a while they collect mold too. What you're looking at here is a pot shelf that is right off of the second floor balcony, as you can see here. I mean, this is just inviting someone to climb on it. I can just see a small kid climbing on top of the balcony here, the handrail, and then jumping over to this area. That would be one of the problems. You don't want to invite an accident into your home. And again, these are just possibilities. I'm just throwing these things out there. I'm not saying this is going to happen. Let's face it, if you warned your children, it probably wouldn't. Of course, some of them, it would entice them to do the exact opposite. However, there is another problem with shelves that are this close to an area where you can actually reach. And if you could just imagine someone cleaning this area and then reaching a little further. So let's just say you're standing on top of the balcony and you're leaning over the handrail and you're reaching over and you're cleaning this area because you can clean a section of it, or you've put a few of your knickknacks on top of here, or even some fake plants, and you're reaching over there to grab them. And you do this regularly, and then pretty soon you start to get comfortable with this, and pretty soon you're reaching a little bit farther, and all of a sudden you reach a little too far and you fall off the balcony. Now let's not get carried away here. I'm just providing you with a few possibilities. That's all. Things to think about, things that could happen, and things that probably already have happened in the past. Next up, I'd like to point out that you are going to have shelves like these that are going to collect large amounts of dust, and of course, in some cases, large amounts of moisture. If you have an accumulation of moisture over time, let's face it, if you watched enough of my videos, you know that you're going to run into mold, mildew, and even some types of funguses. So if you like things like this, you've got a lot of knickknacks, you've got something in your head that, hey, this is going to be great, I'm going to put one of these shelves here, then go for it. Go ahead. But just understand that if they're a little too high, then they're going to be a little harder to clean. And if they're going to be a little larger than normal, they're going to be harder to reach the back. It's going to be harder to reach the back. And don't forget, I don't have my arrow pointing to the window, but windows like these are going to be difficult to clean also. So if you're going to design something and hey, I need some light here, I'm going to need a window up here, let's not forget that this window will need to be cleaned from the inside, which might be difficult for this situation here. And of course, it's also going to be need to cleaned from the outside, which could provide you with even a larger obstacle if there are things in the way. And trust me, again, like I said, I'm just bringing this to your attention. If you're planning on designing something like this, you can always make the shelves a little smaller. They don't need to be monster wide shelves. And then of course, be careful what you design around these shelves. Windows, fancy trim, whatever, or even electric light fixtures. Trust me, I've seen people put light fixtures in these things so that they can highlight the stuff they put on the shelf. And then of course, when the light bulb goes out, this creates another problem. So you've got to put some thought into this stuff when you're designing the building. That way you will not run into problems after it is built. This is very important. And anything you can possibly think of, look at it. Look at every part of the building you can possibly look at, and put as much thought into this as you can, even while you're building it. Even while you're building it, if you think, you know what, crap, I messed up. Hey, at least you can fix it during the construction phase. Would have been better to fix it during the design phase, but at least if it's something you can fix during the construction phase, it's a big enough problem, then you've eliminated a problem in the home, and won't need to worry about it in the future, or deal with it for that matter.